This week on the Hypothetically Podcast.
A lot of great stuff has happened, though. Mainly, I did a spot on the Oddball comedy tour. I could be one of the greatest days of my life.
Welcome to Oddball Fest, everyone. Holy shit. Thank you guys for just not doing the ice bucket challenge for a couple hours. Come out here and watch some comedy.
One more time for Will.
They gave us these quote-unquote VIP passes, which are made have the name VIP on them to make you feel like you are important, but it's really a bunch of BS. It was World War B. They were coming over, like climbing over each other, and before I knew it, I had 80 bees in my fucking room, flying around my head.
You're listening to the Hypothetically Podcast with Will and Lounan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Thank you for listening to Hypothetically with Will Noonan, and that's me, coming at you live right now from my air-conditioned studio, otherwise known as my 2006 Honda Accord sedan, cruising up 95 north, heading from Providence, Rhode Island, back to Boston, Massachusetts. I just did a show, excuse me, pardon, I got a little cold, just did a show at the Comedy Connection. I actually did a contest there tonight. I was one of the judges of the comedy contest, and I did a spot on the show as well, and felt a little weird judging a comedy contest. I've only been in comedy 8 years. I'm not sure it's really time to start judging other comedians. Also, some of my friends were in the contest, and also, I don't know, I don't like judging things, but I did it anyway, because I wanted to do the spot on the show, and paid a couple bucks, and it was a lot of fun. Personally, I don't do well in comedy contests as a comic. I've never won one. I've had a couple bad sets, something I probably should work on, because the comedy festival scene is pretty big as far as getting noticed as a comedian, so I should work on that. But they all get sets, and it felt kind of weird doing it, but it's a Thursday, and I had nothing else better going on, so why the fuck not, right? Excuse me. A lot. Excuse me. Got my science teacher, excuse me, son. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. So much fucking shit has happened in the past couple weeks, past week. My girl was on the last episode, got tons of downloads. It's always real popular when we're on together answering the relationship questions. So we're going to have to do another one of those next time we get together. She's out on the West Coast for a 3-month period of time taking a college course in theater. Interning at a casting agency, doing all kinds of good stuff out there, but I'm lonely. It's only been a week. Feeling a little bit of the effects. I've never been one to suffer depression, really, but I have noticed since the girl went out of town, I've had a little harder time getting out of bed. I'm just feeling a little more lethargic. I'm not in a big hurry to go work out or anything. I'm just kind of like, meh. And I think it's because I'm bummed out, but, hopefully I'll get over it. A lot of great stuff has happened, though, too. Mainly, I did a spot on the Oddball comedy tour. I did the second stage, hosted by Brody Stevens, with my friends, Lamont Price and Kyle Plouffe. Could be one of the greatest days of my life. It was so fucking awesome. Big thank you to John Tobin for getting me the gig. He's from Laugh Boston, one of the great guys over there at Laugh Boston, one of my favorite clubs in the country, if not the world. And he's an awesome guy, and him and Chet were actually there. Laugh Boston had a presence at Oddball. They had a tent. If you know what the Oddball Festival is, it's kind of like the Lollapalooza of comedy. And if you don't know what Lollapalooza is, that was a music tour in the 90s. But they get the biggest comedians. Last year they had Dave Chappelle. That was the big draw. It was Dave Chappelle and Flight of the Conchords. This year, Louis CK, Dave Attell, Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, Gerard Carmichael. On the other shows, not the one I was on, but on other shows, they have Bill Burr, Aziz Ansari, Mark Maron, the biggest names in all comedy. And they're drawing huge crowds, 10,000 people and above. And it's just this great thing, and it was an honor and a pleasure to be invited to do it. The word honor is funny and comes back later. So, I'll just give you the skinny of the whole day. It was quite a day. I take my buddy Pat Barrett with me. I got a +1, which was cool. So I take Pat. He's a comedian, MC Young homophobe, great guy, consummate homeboy, with him all the time. Kyle's already going to be there, so it's great. It's like I get to bring two of my best friends. And we drive down together, me, Kyle, and Pat. I got a flat tire the night before, so I had to change a tire that morning before I left, which kind of sucked, but what the fuck, you know? That's life, changing tires. So I changed the fucking tire, put on the spare, which is still on as we speak. I'm driving 75 miles per hour on it right now. Me, Pat, Kyle, we load up in the car, we drive down there. I don't smoke any weed on the way there. Pat smokes in the back seat, but I'm keeping it level until the show's over. And we get there, and it's pretty cool. We got backstage parking, which means we got to park next to, like, the trucks and the buses and stuff. So we get back there, and we get our passes, and this guy named Cena comes over, and that made us all laugh because we're all wrestling fans, and he was a great guy. He's kind of like the talent coordinator for the tour. Gets people what they need and helps people and coordinates a lot of stuff. He works real fucking hard. And he was nice to us, man. Treated us with dignity and respect. So we get back there. Cena's like, you know what? You got like 20 minutes to wait, but, you know, we don't have a dressing room for you guys, but if you want, you can use Dave Attell's dressing room because he's not going to be here until later. So we go in Attell's dressing room. That's fucking cool. We're all like geeking out about that, taking pictures of ourselves underneath the sign that says Dave Attell. And, you know, it was cool. Even I've seen a lot of concerts like at this. Now it's called the Xfinity Center. It used to be called the Twitter Center. It used to be, or Tweeter Center. It used to be called Great Woods Comcast Center. It's had like a million fucking names, but I went to my first concert there almost, I don't know how many years to the day. It was August 16th was when I went to my first concert there in 1996. This was August 15th, 2014. I'm performing there. So it was cool to be backstage and be like, oh, I bet this is where Aerosmith hangs out before they perform. Kind of see what it looks like. I've been there, seen a bunch of concerts there. Saw Lionel Richie there a couple weeks ago, or a month ago, and you can hear all about that in that episode of the podcast. It was just cool to be back there. So we're chilling back there. I'm drinking free Dr. Pepper's like it's going out of style. Then Brody Stevens kind of shows up, and he's like, hey guys, I'm going to take you, tell you the order, take you over to the show, show you what's up. But I'm excited because I'm a huge Brody Stevens fan. I just find him to be super fucking funny. I love his comedy. And we follow each other on Twitter, and sometimes we talk on Twitter, and it's always a thrill for me. So it was also a thrill to be doing the show with him. And he was nice to me, very kind to me. I think he knew that I was a big fan of his, so he treated me with a little extra love. And then we kind of walk over to where the second stage is, and mind you, there's no one let in yet, none of the general public, so we're walking around, and I don't really know what to expect. I thought we were going to be in like kind of a tent, and I don't go to a lot of festivals. I don't know what second stage even entails. I'm like, who knows how many people will be performing for it, probably a couple hundred. People who don't want to watch famous comedians. I don't know who's that. I have no idea what to expect. We get over to the stage. It's a big fucking stage. It looks like the stage at Warped Tour. That's the best I can describe it. Sponsored by Plume, which has sponsored an episode of this podcast and given me a free vaporizer called the PAX, which I fucking love. PAX by Plume sponsored the stage. So I'm like, this is just a serendipitous day. One of my favorite comics, Brody Stevens, is hosting. One of my favorite companies, Plume, is sponsoring the stage. I'm with my friends. I'm like, this is just getting better and better. So the stage, though, is in front of, there's just an empty space in front of it because they haven't let anyone in. So I'm like, it's a big stage. I wonder how many. We'll probably attract 400 or 500 people, 300, who knows. They open the doors within 10 to 15 minutes, was probably about 1,000 people there. Within the next 5 minutes after that, 1,500, maybe more. Just a shitload of fucking people. They're crammed in. So Brody goes on stage and he starts ripping it up. He's hosting. I'm the first one after Brody, so I just started getting myself kind of ready. I had a set kind of prepared. Then I sat down and wrote it out. I don't bring it out when I'm on stage, but it just helps me to kind of write down right before I go out what I'm gonna do. I don't know why, just maybe because I'm a pothead, it just helps me keep it straight in my brain, like physically writing the words out, the premises. So I had a couple ideas of what I was gonna do first, just to open it up, and it's this line I've been doing like all week about the Ice Bucket Challenge. Like, thank you guys for coming out tonight. Just not doing the Ice Bucket Challenge for a couple hours to see some comedy. And I was like, I'm going to open with that. And then I'm not sure what joke I'm going to do. So I get to that point. Oh, wait, so I'm getting ahead of myself here. So now Brody, he does about 15 minutes, and then he's like, okay, are you guys ready for a show? So I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm a little nervous. I mean, the crowd is huge, so I'm definitely feeling the energy. I'm just kind of hopping up and down, shaking it out, and it was kind of a bummer that there wasn't really a backstage area, because I like to do that for almost every show I do, even if it's like a fucking open mic for 5 people. I just like to kind of shake it out a little bit before I go on stage. It makes me feel good. But I don't like to do it in front of like a ton of people, because I always feel like it makes people think like, oh, he's nervous, which isn't the case. It's just something I do. This time I actually was kind of a little bit nervous, so I was probably doing it extra, and I was like, it kind of sucks that the other comics and the crowd, a lot of the crowd, if they're looking can see me doing this, kind of ruins the illusion. But I was like, whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I walk out there, Brody says my name, he's like, me and this guy follow each other on Twitter, which is a huge honor and compliment. The word honor just been popping out of my mouth left and right lately. Everything's an honor to me. So I guess I've been focusing on gratitude, so maybe saying everything's an honor is just me being grateful. I don't know, but it's been coming out of my mouth a lot. So anyway, Brody introduces me, and I walk out, and it's just, I think, the biggest crowd I've ever been in front of. And I think I said that. I can't quite remember. I haven't actually listened to the tape back yet. I will when I'm editing it into this, but I think I actually said, like, this is the biggest crowd. I've done comedy for 1,000 people, but this was over 1,000. Just when I got out there and looked out, I was like, this is a shitload of fucking people. So I kind of went into, like, a little bit of shock, out-of-body mode for a couple seconds, where, like, I can't really, I don't even know how to explain it, but I said, wow, you guys are a big crowd, and then I said the ALS joke, and I think I was planning on telling, like, a different bit to open, but I went right into, like, my gay brother joke, which is, like, one of my oldest jokes that is still good, and the joke I could probably tell in my sleep, which is why I decided to open with it at this crazy, huge festival, because I was like, you know what, best open with an old, faithful one, get your feet wet, kind of relax a little bit, and I think that was a good way to go, because the set went awesome, crowd loved it. I'll just put a clip in right here, fuck it. Put some clips in.
Here is good here. Funny guy. We follow each other on Twitter. That means a lot. I don't follow a lot of people, but I follow this guy. He's very funny. Local guy. Bring it and give him a nice hand. Will Newman, everybody. Yes. There he goes. Yes, this is the Brody mic. That's the Will mic. Push your believe. Never forget. Give him a nice hand. Come on.
Brody Stevens, everybody, give it up for him right there. I can't believe it, guys. I can't believe it. Welcome to Oddball Fest, everyone. Holy shit. Thank you guys for just not doing the Ice Bucket Challenge for a couple hours to come out here and watch some comedy. Wow, look at this pasty Irish group of people out there. Massachusetts. Did we tell any black people about this show? Where are they? Hey, thank you, sir, right out front. That's cool. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here at the Oddball Fest. I couldn't be more excited. I stole this water from Dave Attell's dressing room. So they let the idiots from Boston in. We're already fucking shit up. Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 I don't know if you've ever had sex with a ringtone before, but it sucks. Guys, I've been Will Noonan. It's been an honor. Thank you very much.
Will Noonan! Our Sandy Hall show. Will, give me a tape. I'm going to make some things happen.
Thank you, Brody.
All right?
Thanks, Brody.
One more time for Will. Crushing!
That was fun.
Okay, couple things. Just want to do a couple of updates, and I'm going to keep the show moving. Don't worry. First of all, thank you for being here. Number one, support the corporate sponsorship, Red Apple's Ale. They're great stuff. I love them. Give it a shot. It's good. There you go, Red Apple Ale. There you go.
Excuse me. So then, you can hear when I got off stage, I said, it was an honor, which I don't know why the fuck I said that. I don't even...
But it sucks. Guys, I've been Will Noonan. It's been an honor. Thank you very much.
I didn't remember that I said it until hours later when I was watching Dave Attell's set, and I started thinking about my own comedy, and I was like, did I say it was an honor when I walked off stage today? Why did I say it was an honor? And I think it was because I was just speaking from the heart. It was an honor. But I kind of was kicking myself because I'm like, that's not very cool to be calling things honors. And I think a comedian, it's cooler to be kind of badass and like act like you don't care. Lamont's good at that. Sometimes I get so excited. I'm just like, thank you. This is awesome. It's an honor. Cringe. But what are you going to do? I had the best time ever. So we all finish. Everyone kills. Lamont kills. Grant Cotter was the comic who's on the tour. He closes the second show. He kills. Brody goes out and kills for 15 more minutes. Just an awesome time. There's nothing like being up there and seeing 1,500 smiling faces looking back at you. It was really the best feeling on earth. And as if that wasn't enough, after we get to sit and watch some of the best comedians alive do comedy, we went and smoked some weed backstage. Not with anyone famous or anything, just in my car by ourselves. And then we went back to our seats and we watched Dave Attell, Sarah Silverman, Amy Schumer, and Louis CK back to back to back to back. And it's like, if you're a fan of comedy, that's just insanity. That kind of lineup just shouldn't even be happening. So that was awesome. And we left, with our bellies full and smiles on our faces and our inspirational gas tanks overflowing with inspirationaline. At least mine was. I was like, man, I hit the notebook hard. And since I've left that fucking show, because it was just, the comedy was so good and so high level, that it was just, inspiring and motivating. There I go, being serious. It was just an honor, guys. Couple funny things that happened that day. We lost we had these passes that gave us access to like any place, worker passes. And then after intermission, after our checks had been cut, after we'd been paid, they literally cut the fucking passes and took them away from us and gave us these quote-unquote VIP passes, which have the name VIP on them to make you feel like you are important, but it's really a bunch of BS. BS is what it is. Stupid hack joke alert. But they like kind of shuffle us out, and they're like, yeah, here goes your new passes, and enjoy the show, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, we like kind of, before we know, we're outside and with the general public, and I'm like, I looked at Lamont, Kyle, and Pat, and I was like, I think we just got the gentle fuck you, get out. And it was funny, and I get it, because that's when like Amy Schumer and Louis CK were showing up, and they probably didn't want here's my hypothesis. This tour's only been going on for 2 years, but they go to a bunch of different cities and they have local comics do the second stage in every city. Somewhere, it would probably used to be that the local comics could go backstage just like everyone else, but somewhere along the line, someone probably got shit-faced off the free booze and got up in, like, Dave Chappelle's face and bugged him or something, and then that was that, and they ruined it for everyone. Things like that happen in comedy all the time. Like, there'll be like a sign that says, you know, you can only order, you know, 1 steak a weekend because some dickhead went in and ordered like 3 steaks for all his meals or some stupid shit. That was a terrible example. But that was kind of a funny, like, experience where it was like, you're the best, you killed, congratulations, you're in showbiz, people want to talk to you, and Amy Schumer's here, get the fuck out. Amy Schumer came through, man. It was like the president had arrived. But it was cool to see. I'd seen her come up, you know, and Hannibal Buress. I've only been doing it 8 years, but I've seen both those people do sets in dingy rooms. And to see them both wearing expensive clothing and performing for 10,000 people is pretty cool. Also motivating, also inspiring. And shout out to Lab Boston and John Tobin for hooking that up. Such a good time. Honestly, one of the most creatively fulfilling days of my life. And it was almost 5 years to the day since I quit drinking. And I was like, wow, what a... You know, not to get too serious, but when I quit drinking, I was pretty down and out. I was pretty much at the lowest point of my whole life, and that was 5 years ago, and I didn't even know if I'd ever do comedy again. And to be on the same bill, maybe not on the same stage, but still on the same show, the same festival with the likes of Louis CK, Dave Attell, Sarah Silverman, just 5 years later, it was an honor, guys. And a lot of emotions were going through the air that day. It was Kyle's birthday, my 5-year sobriety day. Not that I wasn't smoking weed to beat the band, but just a hell of an experience. That's all I can say, man. It was, I've been talking about, trying not to, like, brag, but it's like going skydiving. It's like, how do you not talk about it with your friends? So, that happened. Let's get into the little bit of sad news. A good friend of mine, Rich Seisler, died. Stand-up comedian. Died for real, not like a lot of the wrestlers who I talk about who died. If I say someone with a name that doesn't sound like a human being, they probably haven't actually died in real life. But if I say a guy's name like Rich Seisler, I mean it. So this poor guy, great comic, guy I looked up to, a guy who was kind to me when he didn't need to be, didn't really need to be nice to me at all, but he was extremely nice to me, hooked me up with awesome fucking gigs. No, reason other than to be nice, other than to help me out and give me these fucking cool gigs. Poor guy, he's only 63 years old or something. He's out on he did the road, like the oceans. He did cruise ships. He did Australia. He did Spain, Italy. He was always doing comedy shows in these crazy fucking locales. And that's actually, he ended up getting sick, near fucking Cuba or something, some crazy fucking place. He ends up in a hospital in the Dominican Republic. And he had Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is, I guess, really bad. And a really, really great comedian went way too young, and it came as a huge shock to everybody up here. He was putting stuff on his Facebook a day before he died, and a couple days before, he's posting to Facebook and kind of making it seem like it's not such a big deal. And he's like, yeah, I'm sick, but I'll be getting home soon. He's making jokes about frequent flyer miles and stuff, and then a couple days later, just hear that this guy's dead, and it's like, what? How is that possible? It's really sad, man. Then, make it all worse, Robin Williams died a couple days later, killed himself. You get one guy who's a great guy, loves life, dies of a horrible disease while he's on the road. And then you get this other dude commit suicide, even though I heard he had Parkinson's, so that's sad. But I'm sad Robin Williams died too, but like, I really hate the phony baloney like tributes from everyone. I never heard people talking about fucking Robin Williams ever in a green. The only talk about Robin Williams I've ever heard in a comedy green room in 8 years doing stand up is that he steals jokes, and that people wouldn't go on stage when he came into the Comedy Store in LA because he was such a notorious joke thief that people would just fucking like be like, I don't even want this guy hearing my act. Get him out. I won't perform if he's in the room, you know? That's all I've ever heard about him. I've never heard a comic cite him as an influence in person or on a podcast. I don't think I've ever heard anyone like go on WTF with Mark Maron and be like, yeah, Robin Williams was like a big inspiration to me. Growing up, they almost always say Jonathan Winters if they're going to go down that road. I'm not shitting on the guy, like, I'm not saying he didn't offer anything to society. He was, I think, a great film actor. If you want to look at things that Robin Williams did that were, that like, you know, are classics and can be substituted, it's his films. Good Will Hunting, Toys is one of my favorite movies. Like, I think of Robin Williams, the movie actor, and I feel sad that he is gone, and that's a tragedy, that he won't be in any more movies. What annoyed me and pissed me off was, like, all these stand-up comedians, you know, when you're a stand-up, all your Facebook friends are stand-ups, and all of a sudden everyone's, like, putting out these status updates, like, I never told anyone this, but Robin Williams was my favorite comic, and a genius has been lost today, and people are just using it as an opportunity to kind of like, look how great of a person I am because I'm so broken up about this, and you guys don't know this about me, but I'm a sad clown, and bloobity bloob bloob, and it's a fucking bunch of phony baloney. And then the people who were slightly worse than that were the ones who were like, me and Robin Williams were hanging out in 1989 at the Comedy Store, and I opened for Robin, and me, Robin, and Dice, and it's like, oh, name drop and Roni, so you're going to use this death to remind us all that you used to do big things. Ugh, ugly, man. I just didn't understand. I was like, I couldn't even grieve for Robin Williams because people were just fucking falling over each other to try and, like, see who could be the most sentimental about it. And I made a couple jokes on Twitter and stuff, and, you know, I've been accused of being too soon on things. But to those people I say, don't come to me for that kind of stuff. Come to me for jokes. Topical jokes, no matter what happens in the news. I'll make fun of it on Twitter. And don't expect serious stuff from me. You get it sometimes. You're going to get it sometimes. I put out some serious things sometimes, but very, 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 very rarely. Normally I like to kid around, because last time I checked my taxes, I'm a stand-up fucking comedian, and making fun of shit is what I'm supposed to do. So I figured Time Magazine and People and fucking John Legend and all the other serious assholes in the world would have the tributes to Robin Williams covered. Let me take a shot at the jokes, because someone's got to make them. Were they mean-spirited? Were they about suicide? No. Oh, yeah, they were. Yes. I thought my best one was, hope he left a note, which is a Mork and Mindy joke, which some people liked, some people didn't like. And there was another one, I can't remember. But that's like what comedians used to do in... If you're sitting in the room with somebody, they're going to start making sick jokes. All of a sudden on Twitter and Facebook, everyone's a politician, and they're fucking trying to maintain some sort of, like, I'm a sensitive dude image. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it, man. But Robin Williams, he will be missed. And if you're thinking about killing yourself, don't do it. It's the dumbest fucking move out there. I can't stress that enough. I've had close friends commit suicide. And, you know, it's something you just never get over what a waste that is. Because nothing in your life is ever bad enough to just end your life. All you have is your life. And if you're feeling like life sucks, make some changes. And if you're in high school and you're feeling like life sucks, don't even worry about it, because it's going to all drastically change the second you leave high school, and it won't suck anymore, and you'll be way more in charge of your life. Fuck all this serious shit, but it bummed me out that Robin Williams died and everyone was talking about him when a guy like Rich Sisler really was just as fucking talented. And just to kind of give you an example, you know, he'd only done a couple gigs with me. He knew me a little bit, but he knew that I, like, was serious about comedy. He knew I had a serious girlfriend. And he got offered this gig at the beautiful Westover Inn in Vermont, and a headlining gig, and he couldn't do it. Instead of offering it to, like, one of his buddies who always does cool gigs with cool accommodations, he was like, hey, this young guy will really appreciate this gig. He's got a girlfriend, she'll appreciate it. I'll give it to him. Great food, great hotel, all kinds of cool films you can watch during the film festival. So he hooked it up for me, and then I got to bring my openers, who also got rooms and food. So it was like, he gifted this awesome weekend up in Vermont to me and my friends, basically out of the kindness of his heart, when he really didn't have to. And not a lot of, if you're a fan of the podcast, you know, it's not like these older comedians in Boston are, like, in a huge hurry to help us out all the time. Tony B likes to help guys out. Jimmy Dunn, he's not really an older guy, but he's helped me out so fucking much. But a lot of people, they don't love young competition. I don't blame them, I guess. But Rich Sisler was not one of those guys. He was a true blue, great comic, great-hearted guy, and I'm sad that he's gone. And real sad for his fiance. And it's a shitty story, man. And it's just, you know, I'm like, that's like one of my biggest fears, is like dying on some third world fucking country hospital, and he's putting out, right until his dying day, upbeat Facebook posts and Twitter updates and shit like that. Chill sad, yo. So let's talk about something else. Something else. I did ask, you know what's funny? This is the second time I've recorded this podcast. I recorded one earlier today, but I did it just in bed, laying in bed talking, and I felt like it was just the most lackadaisical fucking lazy-ass podcast ever. So I was like, man, I gotta redo this shit tonight when I go down to Rhode Island. I got a pretty crazy story to tell you guys. I don't even know where to start. I had some bees in my room. You've probably heard me talk about it on Twitter or on this podcast if you listen. The past couple weeks, I was like noticing like one bee in my room every single day. Yellow, black bee. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't kill them. I put them on a newspaper or a magazine. I put them out the window. I don't like to kill bees. So this like happens for like 2 weeks. I'm like, that's fucking odd. So then one day, it's like last week, before Oddball, before India left town, I'm looking at the fucking, you know, I'm watching TV, and I look up and there's like 6 or 7 bees in my room now. I'm like, that's fucking weird. So I kind of look down at my air conditioner, and I'm like, huh, are the bees coming in through my air conditioner? Because I did notice there was some gaps. Like, I'd put duct tape, and like I'd stuff this like blanket kind of underneath the air conditioner to insulate it, and I just put duct tape over that, and I was like, oh, it looks like some of that's coming loose. Maybe bees are coming in. I was like, I hope there's not like a beehive right outside my window or underneath the AC or like what's going on. So I'm kind of curious, and like as soon as I fucking like stick my hand near the fucking tape, bees start coming in like to beat the band. It was World War B. They were coming over, like climbing over each other, and before I knew it, I had 80 bees in my fucking room flying around my head. One of them stung me in my hand as I tried to fucking swat it out of my face. And the sting was so bad that I was like, what the fuck even just stung me? That didn't even feel like a bee sting. It felt like an electric shock. And then I like run outside. This is all a true story, by the way. Then I run outside my room. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? I run down the stairs. I get some Lysol because it's the only aerosol I have. And then I just spray that into the room. And it kind of confuses them enough that I can get back in there. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So I remembered from all the Survivor Man and Man vs. Wild and shit that I watched that bees and hornets and wasps and shit hate smoke. So I had a metal bowl in there because I'd been eating popcorn the night before. I fucking throw a bunch of printer paper, and I had all this weed that is from my vaporizer. So it's like, after you smoke weed in a vaporizer, it becomes like, what's the word? All the moisture is taken out of it. It becomes very dry, and you can just light it up, and it makes a ton of smoke if you light it. So I threw some of that on there as like tinder, and I just light this shit on fire, and my room started to fill with smoke. And I'm not even kidding you, within a minute, all of the bees and shit, I'm not gonna lie, I swatted a couple because they were getting close to me, but most of them flew out the window. And then I'm like, problem solved. So then I close up the windows and I fucking take out the air conditioner. No, I didn't take out the air conditioner. I close up the windows and I'm like, I got them all out. I spray some fucking more Lysol around to get rid of the smoke smell, and I'm like, mission accomplished. I only got stung once. And then I went and wrote a Reddit post about it under TIFU, today I fucked up, and I wrote today I fucked up and let 80 wasps into my room. Or bees, sorry. So then, it's getting confusing. So then it becomes kind of a popular today I fucked up post, and a bunch of people are writing like, wow, good for you, that's amazing. And then people are like, are these bees or wasps or what? So then I take a photo of one of the dead ones and I put it online, and people are like, dude, those are wasps, not bees. Those are yellow jacket wasps. Fucking kill them, get rid of them, make sure they're not nearby. Those things are bastards. Like, they're the worst. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I spend the night at my girlfriend's. Next day I go home, and I'm like, I open my door and I'm like, there's not going to be any wasps in there. I got them all. They're gone. I open the door. What do I see? Like 6, 7, 8 wasps flying around the window again. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm on the inside. I'm like, they're in. What's going on? So I go over to the air conditioner, and I'm looking around, and I can't fucking, like, see anything. Like, I'm like, I don't see where they're getting in. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take the entire air conditioner out and clean this thing or whatever. Maybe they're living in the air conditioner. So I'm like starting to dismantle it. I get stung on my hand again. And I'm like, now I know why it hurts so bad, because they're wasps, not bees. And I fucking like start pulling back the duct tape, and they're getting pissed, but I'm just kind of like spraying them with the Lysol. And then I get to the blanket that I had stuffed underneath the air conditioner, which is now I realize a terrible idea. I pull that out, and when I pull that out, all hell breaks loose, because what had happened is the wasps had pushed out from the outdoors. They had pushed out the inside of that blanket enough to make a hive in there. So they weren't technically in my room, but like they were kind of renting space in there by pushing this thing out. But when I ripped that fucking hive open, when I ripped that blanket out, I ripped a hornet's nest in half. A wasp's nest. I'm an idiot when it comes to this differential. So just bear with me. There's no bears involved, though. It's just bees, wasps. They were wasps. You can read all about this on my Reddit page, Will Noonan. Reddit user Will Noonan. Find me. You can see photos. Everything is there. The whole story written out, photos. It's like a fucking complete investigation on Reddit. So I ripped this fucking wasp hat. It falls into my room, and now my room is once again filled with like twice as many fucking angry fucking wasps. So this time I run out, I go to the fucking store near my house, they have 1 can of wasp killer left, so I buy that, and then I buy another can of just raid bug killer, flying insect. I'm like, how big of a difference can these two fucking things really be? And you know what? It turned out no different. They both killed them just as good. So I go back to the house, open up the fucking door, and I put on a hoodie and fucking jeans, and I wrapped shit around my face. Only my eyes were exposed. I go in and I just start spraying poison all over the place and at the hive. And I wish I could say it was like an insane story, but honestly, they all died so fast. The poison worked like amazingly well. Like within a minute and a half, there was just like 200 dead wasps on my floor. I swept them up. It was disgusting. Swept them up. Fucking, I got stung all over my hand. And I took the air conditioner outside. I cleaned the air conditioner with bleach. I cleaned the windowsill with bleach. And then I left again for another 24 hours. Went to my girlfriend's place. My hands got all swollen. It itched. It was horrible. Then I go back the next day. No bees or wasps or anything. And I put the fucking air conditioner back in, and I'm taping it up with like duct tape, and this time no blankets, and I'm using aluminum foil to fill any crevice. And I shit you not, while I'm doing this, the wasps start coming back and trying to, like, they're tapping on the fucking aluminum foil trying to get back in. And I'm just like, this is fucking bananas, dude. Like, these wasps do not relent. So the end of the story is I fucking fill up the holes. Everything is like Fort Knox, and no more wasps anymore. But for like 2 or 3 days after I got rid of the nest, they were knocking at my fucking door, at my windowsill, trying to get into my house. So whatever gene they have that tells them where the hive is super fucking strong and cannot be gotten rid of even with bleach, because it was like they were still coming back, man. It was horrible. It's a horrible fucking... I actually had, like, stress. I had anxiety attacks after fighting him, because it was really... I'm not, like, afraid of bugs, but it was so scary, man. Flying near your eyes and everything. 200 of these fucking things. Probably got stung, like... I probably only got stung about 4 times, and my hand was swollen as fuck. And, by the way, my room is not dirty. Like, my air conditioner area was not dirty. There was just this purple blanket there that I thought was doing a great job fucking insulating, and really all it was doing, it was like I was raising an ant farm of wasps. And the ones that were getting in my room must have been ones that had kind of like gotten lost on their way to that thing and climbed through. There was a little tiny hole about the size of a fucking half a peanut underneath my air conditioner, and ones that were getting lost trying to get to the hive through the main entrance were fucking getting stuck in my room. So that's why I was only seeing like 1 or 2 wasps every day, because the majority of them weren't really in my room. They were in the fucking little area there. It's all in the Reddit post, guys. But I'm not a hoarder or anything like that with wasps and nests in his fucking house. That's what makes this story so crazy and funny. And it was a bummer, but it was also... And I was like, oh, maybe I'll get some stand-up out of this, but I don't think I really will, because it's not that funny of a story, I guess. It's just more of an interesting, weird story. It was cool to be... someone gave me Reddit gold, though. It's the first time that had ever happened, so it was pretty cool to be gilded in that sense. Alright. We're getting pretty close to... I'm at 40 minutes right now, but I'm on my way to go buy weed. I'm getting close to this house. I did get a couple questions. Like I said, I did a podcast earlier today, and it kind of sucked, so my brain's a little scrambled. I'm like, what did I talk about tonight, and what did I talk about this afternoon? Not that Tom Green, a podcaster in his own right. I've been a guest on his Wrestle Folks podcast many times, and on his new Full House podcast, Everywhere You Look, Just Once. Check those podcasts out. He's a great dude. He sent in a question because I put out the blast looking for questions. If you ever want to send in a question, just send it to willnoonan.com/contact, at willnoonan on Twitter, or I'm taking them on Snapchat Real Will Noonan. Those are the best 3 ways to get a question to me. Never Facebook message me again. I'm not checking that shit. I'm never checking my Facebook messages again. So if you sent me something in there and you never got a reply, hit me up another way. Because I'm over Facebook messaging. It's fucking stupid. And I'm boycotting it, man. And I'm girl-cotting it, and I'm man-cotting it, and I'm woman-cotting it. But at Not That Tom Green on Twitter, that's Tom's Twitter, he sent in the question. I'm not going to read the specifics, but it was basically, how do you deal with Twitter hate or bad comments, negative reviews on Twitter and social media? And you know, I'm not very famous, so I don't get like a ton. I wouldn't even say I'm famous at all. I'm like locally well known. Some people know me. I guess if you're a real comedy nerd, you might have heard my name, but I really don't know. But this podcast gets enough listeners and shows up in enough places that occasionally someone will, I guess, get annoyed with my presence and have to let me know. But all in all, I usually just ignore it. As far as I don't respond or I don't block them. I will often mention it to whoever I'm with. I'm like, look at this fucking shit. Kind of to get their opinion on it. It used to bother me more. I think my skin has gotten thicker. Just because I've gotten more, more and more of it on Vine especially. Like, people call you fucking... People make fun of the way you look on Vine enough. It's like, alright, I guess that's just a thing about me. I'm pale. What can I do? Can't change it. So, I don't know. I don't know if I've answered this question at all. Occasionally I'll screenshot it and put it out on my own to be like, look at this fucking asshole. And then some of the new enthusiasts will like shit on him. Me and Matt D have had like fake Twitter fights and people take him seriously and go after Matt D, and that makes me laugh. And I love that, and I appreciate anyone who does it for me. And I'll tell you what bothers me the most is when people steal my jokes and put them on pictures of cats and seals and use them on advice animals on Reddit. That bums me out. And that's like, I've just unsubscribed to advice animals because it happens so often. I'll put up a stand-up shot on the internet. It'll get a lot of attention. And then like a month later, it'll show up on a fucking meme. And then I'm like, great, now when I do this on stage, people who look at Reddit are going to think I stole it. Awesome, bro. Awesome. So that probably I can't talk. That probably, almost a car accident in front of me just now. That probably bothers me more than anything. And, this one time a guy took his time and, like, wrote all over every YouTube video, like, of me that exists. He just, like, wrote something mean in the comments. And it was funny. He was like such a Jersey Shore, like Pauly D douchebag looking type of guy in all his photos. Holy shit, what's going on? There's like a huge amount of police presence over there near the Mass Pike. What the fuck is that? Looks like I hope there wasn't a fucking terrorist act. I hope that's just a drill. I'm talking like 800 cops over there. What the fuck? They haven't heard anything, so it's probably just a drill. They do those now. They do terrorist act drills. Yeah, so this one Guido, like, Jersey Shore type guy, he goes on and fucking shits on every video. And I almost had to give him, like, a little bit of credit. It's like, wow, you took all that time. And most of it was not funny, but he did say one thing that was like, you're the sperm that somehow made it through. Which I thought was kind of deep for Guido. One time a guy spent like a Saturday night like emailing me like nonsense, like, like when you just hit the keyboard with like your fingers and it's like JK, HG. It's always like those ones. JK, HG, they're always like the ones that appear the most. He just sent me like 9 or 10 of those like garbage emails over the course of like 2 hours on a Saturday. It's always like on a weekend night where I'm like, I think this guy thinks he's out. Like he thinks he's doing something. It's like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Someone had to sit on the internet and ruin comedians' nights, so figured it might as well be me this week. Even though it doesn't really ruin my night, because it's like part of me is like, oh, fuck you. And then part of me is like, the more this happens, the more I must be being seen, you know? You know, because people who enjoy your shit, they almost never tell you. So for every person that tells you they hate you, that's probably like 10 people who didn't tell you they liked you. And that's an honor, guys. An honor. Hold on. I'm on Sturo Drive. Sturo Drive. Sturo Drive. What else? What else? What else? I got some other questions. Joe West had a question about too soon. I think I kind of already talked about that. I don't believe in too soon, and people also don't know that when they say too soon, they're stealing a joke from Johnny Carson. He invented that shit. And stop stealing, you fucking stealers. Fucking, why is this guy stopping? I hate everyone who drives cars other than me. Do you guys ever feel that way? Move it! Go, you fucking asshole, man! Oh, I know, it's fall. Everyone's starting to move their kids into colleges and they have no clue where they are. Showed a little bit of the reason why I listen. That's why I listen to classical music when I drive, so I don't have road rage. But I get it sometimes, guys. I fucking get it. What else? I feel like I had some notes. Let me see. Yeah, I'm at a stoplight. Let me grab some notes. Fucking notes. Oh, yeah. Bottle Rocket 13, famous Viner, Bottle Rocket. Cool guy, hung out with him. Me and Dune hung out with him at the Vine meetup a few weeks ago here in Boston. That was pretty cool. Shit, I just fucked up. Fuck me. You know what? I'm gonna have to pay an ATM fee right now. That's just how it's gonna have to be. Alright, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, podcast listener. This thing went off the rails fast. Actually, I'll take you with me today. Fuck it, there's no one around. So Bottle Rocket sent in a question. What are my 3 favorite 80s movies and why? Number 1, Ghostbusters. It's my favorite movie. Here comes a group of kids. I need to stop talking because I look crazy. Oof. Just had that moment of panic when I thought I didn't have my ATM card for a second. Panic. Let me in, fuckhead. This ATM is not open right now. Oh. And I'm a dumbass, sticking my thing in the hole and the doors are unlocked. So anyway, Ghostbusters number 1. Love Ghostbusters. Caddyshack number 2. I think that's the 80s. Hope it's not the 70s. Caddyshack I love. It's got my last name in it. It's just a great movie. And number 3, it's always tough. I'm not good at making lists of like my favorite things. Number 3 would probably be... 350. I remember when ATMs used to charge $1.25. What's a good 80s movie, guys? I don't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off that much. I feel like it's an overrated flick. This podcast sucks so bad right now. I feel like I'm just punishing the people who listen all the way to the end. I'm just punishing you guys for being great fans. I get the stats on the podcast. Most people don't listen to an entire podcast. It's not something most people do. But I usually do, so it comes as a surprise to me. I'm a completist. You ever do that with video games? Oh, that's what I can talk about, video games. I've been playing Skyrim. You want to talk about being depressed? Cure for that is Skyrim. Hold on a second. Get all my monies together. Yeah, so this pretty much the day India left town, I go over to my buddy Pat's house, and he's had Skyrim for years since it came out. When the game before Skyrim was Oblivion, which is pretty much the last video game I really fucking played the shit out of. Because before I quit drinking, I quit video games. I was like, I just need to put this thing away and work on comedy, because I realized it was just a time suck. And it is, and I still love and enjoy video games, but I can't own a system right now because I just can't trust myself with it. And Oblivion is Skyrim is especially the type of game that I love, and that I would just love to spend like hours and hours and hours and hours. I could spend a week in my house playing that game and still want more. So second India left, I was kind of bummed, and I was like, I'm going to have a lot more free time, so I went over to Pat's and I started up a game of Skyrim, and it's fucking awesome. And I played for like 9 or 10 hours the first couple days. Then Pat accidentally deleted my guy, which I wasn't even that pissed about, because he was letting me play this game for like hours and hours and hours at his house, so how can I fucking like give him shit for accidentally deleting it? It's not like he did it on purpose. So then I started a new guy, and I've played even more hours. I'm all caught back up and ahead of where I was when I left off, and I just fucking love it. And if anyone listens to this who has anything to do with the creation of Skyrim, God bless you, because it's just, I wish I could, I don't know, I wish I could just like, I hope there was an Oculus Rift version of it one day, because I would love to just go to that world and never leave. I'm a total, like, fucking dragons and fucking elf guy. Anyway, guys, that was weird. Sorry this ended shitty, but I have reached my destination. Time to go buy some weed and smoke it. Thank you for listening to Hypothetically with Will Noonan. Coming at you, as always, from a car or someplace else. Check out my website, willnoonan.com, my CDs on iTunes. Leave a review if you want to be nice. Tell a friend about me in this podcast. And remember, if no one told you they love you today, I do.
More on Will Noonan at willnoonan.com. I said moron.
One more time for Will. Crushing!
That was fun.